巡り合った仕事自分で作業する
Hello buddies, today is Friday, June 14th and you're watching MyView with Manga Madness and welcome to a new special series, Manga Madness. So yeah, it's been 3 months I've started reading manga. So for all those who do not know what's manga, the background is just manga panels. So it's basically comics without color from the Japanese. They call it manga, but it's basically a graphical story. Yeah, I mean, I had known this genre, but I never explored it. I knew comics, I've read Tintin and Superman, Batman comics, but I've not really ventured into graphical novels and mangas. But from this February, March, I started reading mangas and I really loved this genre. And yeah, today, for the first pilot episode, I wanted to talk about some special manga, one of the first ever mangas that I purchased. Yes, it's Vagabond. As you can see, my background, it's called Vagabond, and it's like a deluxe edition where you have like multiple volumes in a binding. So this is a first volume which has like 1, 2, 3, and the next one is 6, 4, 5, 6. So I've read totally 6 volumes, and I just want to talk about it and launch this special series called Manga Madness. So we will talk about a lot of mangas, comics and graphic novels in this particular series, but I will continue the book reviews, for the normal book that I read. So yeah, let's just quickly jump into the manga that I'm gonna talk about today, Vagabond. So what I say, like, let's start with the story. So Vagabond story is about, it's a fictional story based on a real life person. So there was this famous Japanese samurai warrior as well as philosopher called Miyamoto Musashi. So this manga author, Taiko Inoue, he has based this manga based on this historical figure from the Japanese, Miyamoto Musashi. So his real life from his early teenage till he got to become a philosopher. So what exactly happened in his life, so it's just illustrated in this manga, and I really loved reading this. I don't know, I think it happened by chance. I was not aware of the fact that this Vagabond manga is based on Miyamoto Musashi. So he has written only one book, the Book of Firings. It's very philosophical. He has talked about the way, basically, how to use the sword techniques, and how to use the 5 elements of nature in your combat. But that is also philosophical and symbolism to life as well. So he has covered both philosophy as well as combat in that book, and it was a difficult read, but I didn't know he was a famous philosopher. And I happened to purchase this Vagabond manga, and I started reading. Then I came to know that it's about this person who wrote the Book of Firings. So I was really thrilled to read this novel. I will explain you when I show you all these panels. So this is just a glimpse of the manga where you see, it's like one page, a couple of pages from the book where he gets into a combat. So yeah, the story is simple. It's like a hero's journey, like from zero to hero, but it's covered in so many volumes, and there is this motive for the protagonist, like what's his motive and how he's pursuing it, and what are all the obstacles in his way. So this is the basic plot, but there are multiple subplots, involving his village and the places where he goes, and his friend, and his friend's fiance. So there are so many characters, and every character is well developed, but not cohesive. So when the character gets into the interactive segment of the protagonist, then we get to know more about the other characters. But this novel, this graphical novel manga, is entirely about Miyamoto Musashi. So his actual name is Shinmen Takezō. These Japanese names are really difficult to pronounce. So his actual name is Shinmen Takezō, and he has a friend called Honiden Matachi. So both of them have actually participated in the Battle of Sekigahara. So so it's a famous battle, but the side which they represented was, they lost it. So personally, Shinmen Takezō, so his actual name, Miyamoto Musashi's actual name is Shinmen Takezō. Takezō is like very hurt and he feels he's not worthy or he doesn't deserve to be in the battle because he lost. He wants to be, from the first page, we get to know his motive. Like, he wants to be the strongest warrior in Japan, like samurai warrior person, who's who know to use the sword, master all the techniques. Basically wants to defeat every master or whoever is the strongest person. You want to defeat him and become the strongest person in Japan. So that's the motive from the beginning. So the story starts from this battle of Sekigahara, and these friends, so they are childhood friends and they are from the same village. So they go back, they cannot take the loss, but they survived from the battlefield and they go back. And Shinmen Takezō's motive is to become the strongest, but his friend is different person. He's also into combat, and he also wants to be a stronger opponent to his friend, but he has a lot of distractions. He drinks a lot, he eats a lot, and he has lust, so all those things. And so these two friends' path, the way they choose, like Shinmen Takezō, Miyamoto Musashi, he chooses the path of, I want to become the strongest warrior in Japan. And this another friend, Honiden Matachi, he wants to be like carefree and he's not focused, so he's full of distraction. So how these two friends' path go is basically the journey, but it's more focused on Miyamoto Musashi. So they go back to the village, but in between they meet couple of ladies, a mother and a daughter, and they seem to be collecting swords from battlefield where they can sell it, after collecting they sell it in the black market for higher price. And there's a group of bandits who wants to get these swords, but these ladies are hiding from it. So these two friends, Shinmen and Matachi, they both go to this place, and there is some distraction there. So it's where the actual first battle occurs, first combat occurs between Miyamoto Musashi and others. So he basically, it's very action oriented. So the story, as I said, it follows Miyamoto Musashi and his journey to become the strongest man in Japan at that time. But how the story flows, now other characters comes into picture. So the narrative is simply action drama. So there is in subsequent intervals, Miyamoto Musashi gets into a combat, and he wants to win it. So he basically gives everything that he has. So he has learned sword, the sword combat skills from his father. But then he doesn't have proper style or unique method. So he's like wild, raw talent, and mostly survived in mountains. So his talent is like raw, and whenever he gets into a battle, it's like life or death. For him, he should either win it or end up dying trying to win. So he sees everything in black or white. So if he gets into a combat, either he has to defeat the opponent or he will die. So that's how he gets into any combat, and every time he gets into combat, he kind of unleashes this raw talent, and everybody is like so frightened, and especially the common people like villagers and the people who maintain the law. So they're all like frightened of Miyamoto Musashi, and there's a point like the village monk. There is this monk called Takuan. He basically captures Miyamoto Musashi and teaches some sense. So basically kills a lot of people in the process, trying to escape. But then the monk captures him and tells him that you cannot just simply kill everyone, and trying to become the strongest man, you just cannot go on killing people. So you have to be there should be some morality in your sense. So it kind of gives sense to him. So that's where the name becomes Miyamoto Musashi. So until then his name is Shinmen Takezō, his actual name. But after putting some sense into him, so the monk actually gives an idea like, from here on you are a new person. you should go discover other parts of Japan, try to learn more styles and methods. So that's why, like, Miyamoto is basically the village from which he came. So Miyamoto Musashi, he got a new name, and then he goes on to explore different schools. So basically, in those days, they had a lot of schools, and every school had a different style, like spear technique or sword technique or combat, hand combat. So Japan was filled with a lot of schools, and he basically goes from one school to another. So this is basically volume one. So volume one ends, in a sense, VizBig edition volume one ends in a very high note. He kind of goes into this Yoshiko school, which is famous for sword fight, and he just basically walks into the school and he challenges for a duel. So it's pretty common, like in Western culture, they just have the gun and they get into duel, right? So it's life or death. So similarly in Japanese history, I think there is this kind of duel where the samurais, in order to prove their mettle, they go into some school, or like whoever they meet, who's stronger than them, they challenge for a duel. So Miyamoto Musashi does the same. So he doesn't have any method or skill. He has the raw talent. So he walks into school and he's like, I want to challenge the strongest person in the school so that I will become more stronger. But every time he goes, he's facing a very tough opponent, and every battle doesn't have a conclusion. So he either escapes, or some natural element comes into picture and it kind of stops the deciding or conclusive segment of the battle. So volume 1 ends in such a note where he's like bleeding, but he's still trying to fight and he wants to win, but then there's a fire on the school. Somebody has lit the fire and the whole school is like about to catch fire. So it has to be stopped. So basically the master of the school and Miyamoto Musashi takes a break. They're saying like, go get rest, I'll meet you another day. Until then you can prepare, to get more stronger. So from here, so volume 2, so in volume 2 it goes to a different place. It's called Ozoin Temple, where they use the spears to combat. And so he basically wants to challenge spear technique now. So there we have a couple of masters, and his name, I think, Ozoin Temple, spear technique, Enshun, second generation master. So Enshun is like master of spear technique, and he's very tough. He's probably the toughest opponent Miyamoto Musashi has faced until now in volume 2, and the whole volume 2 is between Miyamoto Musashi and Enshun. So it's similar to Dragon Ball. If you see I don't know how many of you have read Dragon Ball manga or like watched Dragon Ball anime. So it's similar, like there's always one opponent changing, and then the protagonist is same. So in Dragon Ball it's like Goku is Vegeta, Raditz, Piccolo, she kept on changing. So here it's almost similar, like it's Miyamoto Musashi and like different schools, different techniques, the masters of different schools, so it keeps changing. So whole volume 2 is about this spear technique master versus Miyamoto Musashi. So again it ends on a note, here actually he kind of gets defeated, but then before the last moment he runs away. So Miyamoto Musashi, unlike his character, he runs away and he takes rest, and he goes into the forest with the help of another spear technique master, the first generation master Inoue, and he basically recuperates and prepares to face the second generation master again. So that's where volume 2 ends, and it's very interesting. We also see his friend. So at one point of time, both the friends, like Miyamoto Musashi and his friend Matahachi, Matahachi, they kind of take different paths. As I said, Miyamoto Musashi wants to become the strongest man, that's his goal, but his friend is very carefree. He's giving into situations, lust, food, sex, money. So how his journey goes is different. So they also show him in the second volume where he's like into construction work. So basically the woman with whom he went, so she's a prostitute and he doesn't have any respect, and basically runs away again, and he's into construction work. So there he meets another samurai who's spying on the construction. So and the villagers kill this new samurai. So it kind of very different path, but still he's like, I will meet my friend Miyamoto Musashi once again, and I'll be the strongest opponent for him. So his journey is also based on becoming the strongest person or like warrior in Japan, but his path is completely filled with distractions and carefree judgment. So he's very careless. So this is the whole story. So this is the story, and the narrative, as I said, it's action and drama. So every volume will have its own combat segment as well as drama, development of characters, emotions, catharsis, realization. So all these things are going on. So it's basically action drama. And now coming back to the sketches, I will show you the sketches. But before that, I want to tell you, like, if you see it as a story, it's just an action drama story. But it's so relatable even now. So we are filled with mobile phones and YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. So many distractions. We don't even know. Some of us do not even have a dream. So how many of us have a dream and or a strong motive? What is it that one thing that you want to achieve in your life? So if somebody asks you this question, I don't think you'll be able to answer very easily unless you have figured it out. So I think that's why it struck me personally, because he sees black and white. He just sees the whole world black or white. So every time he goes into combat, it's like, I have to defeat the other person or else I will die. I will not accept failure. I will either win or I will die. So that's the kind of mindset he goes into. So every move, like even if it's like a simple move or strategy, even though that he doesn't know any style, or like he's 16, 17 at this time. When the story begins, he's just 16, 17 and he's already faced a battle where the empire has lost and he's like ashamed. And that's why he's like, he want to become the strongest warrior. So every move that he makes, it's like a life or death. So if he fails to give 100% in that move, he's gonna be end up dead. So it's so relatable now, with a lot of distractions in our life. We do not even know what we want or what we need. So as I was saying, many of us do not even have a dream. So when people ask you what do you want to achieve in your life, what do you want to become in 10 years or 20 years, so we do not have that questions, answers for those questions, and forget about this distraction. So if you have figured out what you want in life, then there's going to be a lot of distraction obstacles. Like I'm trying to make short films and there are a lot of obstacles, but I'm still trying to give a shot. So similar, it's so relatable, and all his philosophies are one-liners. So at the end of his lifetime, I think he became a philosopher. He has mastered the sword technique, and then through that, 5 elements of nature, he has taught us the philosophy, like what you should do. Never stray from the way, accept everything the way it is. So a lot of philosophical dialogues, and this I've just read a couple of volumes, and both the volumes has very deep meaning and dialogues, and that's why I love Vagabond. And for the pilot edition, I want to talk about it. I just finished volume 2 days ago, and these are like as I said, deluxe edition. So we have like 3 volumes per book. So it's this big edition. If you see this signature, so you'll have like 3 volumes. So I've read like 6 volumes totally. Now I want to show you some sketches. Like, we saw the story and character development and as well as narrative, and I want to show you guys the sketches. Let me bring up my camera. This is something new I'm trying. Oh god, yes. So I'm watching the live stream as well, in case somebody gives a chat. Okay, cool. Let me give you sketches. So this is volume 1. You guys can see it, right? Now I will show you some sketches. I cannot show you everything. It becomes like copyright infringement. So yeah, as I said, it's starts from the battle. This is the battle where it begins, has ended. The battle of Sekigahara has ended. So manga is different, guys. It's not like normal book, comics or graphic novels. So you have to read it like so. This is not the front, so this is the back behind cover, and this is the front page. So you have to read it this way, and also the order. It's like it goes from right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is how we should read, from top right to the bottom left. And as I said, this is where the story starts. The battle of Sekigahara has ended, and this is Shinmen Takezō, his actual name. At this point of storyline, he doesn't. He's not called as Miyamoto Musashi. And if you see the friend, this is his friend, Matahachi. His Japanese name was really difficult to pronounce, and so basically they kind of try to go back to the village and they meet people. So yeah. So the main point I'm showing all you this, it's to give you a glimpse, like it's not like a normal book, it's like different. So this is like graphical story, a graphical novel, where you see there is sketching as well as there is dialogue. So you have to read the dialogue and then you have to see the sketches, and it's very good. So it's a different feeling. I was not. I knew that mangas were existing, you know, they were in existence, but when I started reading, I understood the potential. And if you see all the sketches, I think one of the combats in volume 1 is this is where his name, it's about to come, the monk gives him a new name. Yep. So this is the monk, and this is Shinmen Takezō. So after this point of time, he is going to be called as Miyamoto Musashi. So you see here people, so his villagers still call him Takezō, and this is monk Takuan, who gives sense to Miyamoto Musashi. So this is where he ventures into Yoshiko's school, where, you know, just walks into the school and he's like, I will duel with the master of the school. So he doesn't even have a proper sword, by the way. So he just has a wooden sword, and you can see how much ignorant and courageous both at the time, no? He kind of challenges. You see, right, he's still having the wooden sword. He doesn't even have a actual sword. So this volume is pretty much the battle between Yoshiko masters and Miyamoto Musashi. And as I was saying, so there in all the combats there will be no conclusive segment. Like, he kind of escapes before. There will be some god of act. What do you call it? Act of God, or something will happen and he'll have to go away. The fight will end without any winner or losers. So it was a pretty intense fight. Towards the end, I couldn't put it away. Like, I had to finish it off. But then, as I was saying, there will be fire. So somebody would start a fire on Yoshiko's school, and because of that, he has to get away. So this is volume 1, and let me bring volume 2 now. Yes, this is volume 2, and this is Master of Spear Technique, honed in school. Let me just get his name. Inshun, yeah, Inshun. So it's pretty much like he's the protagonist and he's the antagonist in this volume 2. Both are good guys. So if you see here, again mates with Monk. They kind of become like Tom and Jerry, you know. They kind of hate each other but also love each other. So Monk always gives him advice, but Miyamoto Musashi doesn't like. So from here he goes, after Yoshiko's school in volume 1, he goes to Hosoin Temple. So he also gets a small boy as a discipline. He doesn't want, but then he kind of accepts him. So yeah, so he just wants to go to this temple, Hosoin Temple, where they have mastered spear technique. And yeah, so you see, these guys will always have the spears. And this is the master Inshun, master of spear technique. So he's gonna battle with this master, you see. So it's pretty much from this, almost from volume 5, I think 5 and 6 is entirely the combat between Inshun and Miyamoto Musashi. So yeah, he's very good. So at the end, he is almost defeated, Miyamoto Musashi, but he runs away, and he's like bleeding, so he just runs away. So he's like the second generation of master of Hosoin, Inshun. So he's too good for Miyamoto Musashi, so he kind of runs away. And then these are my favorite segments. So after running away, he kind of meets with the retired master. So this is the retired master, you know. It's like a foreshadowing, I would say. We see him in the very early part of this volume, but then we do not know that he's the first generation master. But now he's the one who's mentoring Miyamoto Musashi. He's also the mentor of second generation master. So it's like two of his disciplines are going to battle with each other, and whoever wins, he's going to be happy because he's the master. So yeah, he basically lives in the forest now, trying to learn new things and get more refined, find method, style. So he basically survives what's available in forest. So he eats food, whatever is available there, and still he has like a wooden sword. So now and then the first generation master comes in, and from here, so we see the friend. So after this, yes, from this, I would say, what is the chapter? Chapter 55. We see the friend's life. So this is the castle that is being in construction, and he kind of working there. But then, what is gonna happen in his life? So he also wants to become like a strong warrior like Miyamoto Musashi, but his way is like filled with distractions and all those things. So yeah, there is like a good arc, but I would not say as long as Miyamoto Musashi. There's a good arc for this friend Matahachi, and plenty of story. Yeah, the two main characters in volume 1 are, I'm gonna switch off this. Yeah, so in volume 1 we have Miyamoto Musashi and his friend and Yoshiko school. In volume 2 it's about Miyamoto Musashi and the master of spear technique, so Inshun, and his master Inoue. So I think both the volumes have enough action, so you will not be left more for left wanting. So there is enough action to satisfy your thirst. So I think it's similar to Dragon Ball Z, I would say. So where Miyamoto Musashi is like a fixed character and we have multiple opponents coming here. So as I said, the storytelling is nothing but a hero's journey. Like we follow a protagonist from point zero to point his destination. That's it's like motive, and what all obstacles come in his way, what he learns, how he becomes matured, how he becomes less ignorant. So that is the storytelling, and all the elements like symbolism, foreshadowing, and as you were seeing, the sketchings are like brilliant. So I want to show a couple of more sketching for you. So if you see, this is one panel. This is from volume 1. Sorry, this you are seeing here. Yeah, I'm gonna change it. So this is one part of the story where the villagers kind of capture Miyamoto Musashi, and it's the monk home. So in front of the monk's home, he's being tied. No food or water is allowed. He's tied there for like 3-4 days, and basically to he has that aggressive nature, like wild, raw animal nature. So to remove that aggression, they have put him, hanged him there, and basically to remove all his energy and make him tired and restless and hungry. So that's the monk's idea of getting sense to him. So yeah, this segment was fun to read. So there is this friend's fiance who takes a liking to Miyamoto Musashi, and he tries to give him food. So that was interesting. So yes, the sketching, as you can see, it's so brilliant, black and white, but I don't think color is not required. So that's why they always do it in black and white, right? So the production is so fast, so they don't want to spend time on coloring, but it's an actually become a cult, right? Manga is always black and white. So yes, this is volume 1, this is volume 2, and another panel I want to show you. So this is one of the disciplines in Hozun Temple. So he kind of battles first with Miyamoto Musashi, but Miyamoto Musashi defeats him very quickly. So this is one of the panel where he gets into fight, and Inshun comes then. So yep, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this special series on Manga Madness episode 1. So I wanted to do something special for pilot, so I came up with Vagabond. So do stay tuned. I will be talking about more mangas, comics, and graphic novels in this segment. I'll try to invite more members, so that it will be like a roundtable discussion, because mangas are really good when we discuss with others. And as usual, I'll try to continue with the my view on books, on the other books that I read. I do read normal books. I have not given up on them. So I've started reading more mangas and comics, but I'm still reading print books. So I'll definitely try to come. So 50th episode is still pending for my view on books. So I've done 49 episodes. So I'll pick up a special book for 50th episode, and I will continue this Manga Madness. Look out for episode number 2, and hope you guys enjoyed this beautiful series where I showed you the sketches and gave you a glimpse of the story and narration, all those things. Cool. If you liked it, I'm really happy. So do stay tuned. You are watching Medley with Maddie. I'm Matt Dawson. Bye bye.
よくやった仕事自分で作業する